our feature, who's about to appear. And I'll just say a couple of things before we get the recording started. So he's been writing poetry since the 60s after he bought Coney Island of the Mind by Lawrence Ferlinghetti with paper route money. Wow, wow, early in life. And so he is a poet and photographer and studied at the University of Michigan with Donald Hall and Gregory Orr and Robert Bly. Oh my. Uh, he won major and minor Hopwood Awards in poetry, and his poem Approaching Here was choreographed and performed at UM. He's published in a whole list of journals, Vox Populi Sphere, and more, Blue Heron Review. So you can look at that in his bio in me. And he's also been translated into Spanish, Serbian, and Bengali. When I saw my stuff in Bengali, it was so beautiful. All right, so his book, you can there's links to get his book in the invite, but I'm sure we'll have some posted while we're here. It's available on bookshop.org and more. All right, so Thomas A. Thomas, go right ahead, and thanks very much. And the recording is going. I hope we stopped it after Susie and Robert.
Thank you, David. It's really an honor to be able to be here to share my work with this marvelous group of humans I see. So many friends, I'm really pleased. I'm going to be reading mostly poems from a chapbook manuscript. I'm shopping around, but I also want to read some favorites, and I'm going to start on this theme of Eros and Thanatos with a requested poem that is called Instead of God. Instead of God, say heron, say kingfisher, say that was the 10th summer my wife was dying and I was not. Instead of God, say a name like Anne or Grace or Joy. Say the one who broke me open in a new way this wholly unexpected time. Instead of God, say love, let joy in the side door, and she sits in the kitchen now in the warmth of fresh bread and cinnamon and honey. Instead of God, say only desire, want. Say pomegranate, poplar tree. Say stay, say please. Say thank you. Say love again, dark and light and forever. And then I'll move on to a poem from the chapbook called Dear Stranger, A Return. I have been preparing myself for you. I have been opening the scar that protects the place you might visit. Inside, there is light and darkness, water and blood, a multitude of suns and bodies of the dead, mountains, oceans, deserts, ice, an angel, and a dark animal. I have burned sage for you and made the house warm, prayed you will come, yet fear your approach. I do not offer simplicity or ease, sanctuary or escape. But, dear stranger, I believe this is so. When the heart is ready, the loved one appears. And so when they do appear, sometimes it's a lusty time. So I'm going to read a thing called The History of Longing, Part 1. It's an ekphrastic in response to a video. The History of Longing, Part 1. The door ajar, shadow of headboard on blue wall, north of bright pillow, silver strands spilling from light to shadow, your hair, your breathing, the dazzling sun tumbling in through high southern window to incandesce, oh, tiniest flecks, gold down on throat, eyelids just closed, lips just open, just lifting breasts as your knees rise and feet slide over brushed cotton and under thighs, those shadowed but shining thighs at first closed, shy of the sun's eye at the window, just ever so just parting at first warmth spilling down, luminous hair, white aura finally touching dark pink petals and a glistening between them, dreaming slowly closing butterfly wings, opening again for the sun's eye and another's as you hear lips part, breath pause as he contemplates precisely where tongue touch and fingertip trace might light your eyes, skin, nerves, incandesce your blood, leap you upward in flight, blue sky high. Then another one, the deeper love, love awakening. I wake warm and tangled with you under our tousled covers, come aware of your breathing like slow waves sinking into sand over and over. I open my eyes to the pre-dawn wonder of you, then close them, listening to my own breathing entwining with yours. From outside our window, a third sighing curls into my ears. There is now, here, your small breath, my small breath, and the great breath. So then in the chapbook, the beloved begins to disappear. And this is Coppola's prayers. I'm walking at night when a breeze sets grass blades in motion, writing silent prayers in the sand. Sparrows, mice, and insects have left the signs of their pilgrim paths among the burdocks. The pearled prayer shawls of the spiders are hung everywhere around the marsh by moonlight, and we mingle our footprints, mine and yours, in dune grass along the sand path beside the marsh, a prayer written with our feet. But come the slanted sunlight of morning, I find only my own. And the beloved continues to disappear because the words turn to broken glass on my tongue and make of my voice a rusty hinge, I write them here. Dread darkness grows behind blue eyes under her temple bones. Beneath a forehead I still kiss where my nostrils seek warmth and remembered solace. I know everything loved is to be lost and scattered. Yet, the daily lesson drums in the blood beneath my skin, repeats in knots of sorrow down my bowel. My beloved disappears day upon night, untethered in time, leaving language behind. And yes, because her words are being lost, I write these here. So now this is an episode from a dark night in the Disappearing Act. It's called Pre-Dawn Reverie. And it's got an epigraph by Mikado. No, my heart is not asleep. It is awake, wide awake, not asleep, not dreaming. Antonio Mikado. 1. Some black hour past midnight, and I am dreaming at the rim of the vast silence of Odysseus, hearing those first fatal notes in a strange distance beyond his sight. When a sound enters slowly winding from some great distance into my ear, base of my skull, down my spine, pierces my chest like an icy blade, aching, something like a terrified moan, a whimper, a keening, a ghostly ululation wrung from the straining throat of my love, my wife, from some deep and ancient abyss. I gasp awake, hairs risen on my neck, adrenaline racing as my heart as the sound echoes, reverberations fading as I reach across to gather her head on my shoulder. Everything is all right, my love. You are safe. You are warm and good. I am here and I am not going anywhere without you, dear, sweetly beloved. 2. Your forehead against my throat, your breathing the only measure I know of time. We sink in the warm dark where once so long ago I might have turned my lips to just touch the tiny hairs of your forehead, trace their way to your temple hollow, my breath warming the scent of your skin, your hair, the space behind your earlobe. As you, still under the blanket of sleep, turn ever so subtly toward me, arching and offering throat, collarbone, the valley between the breathing arcs of your ripening breasts, your nipples stiffening between my lips as tongue tip traces tightened aureoles. Yes, and yes, our yeses growing and burning in that other life we had, that gone cosmos. Searching for the right word. The right word is not shroud, not today at least, and not cocoon, though the cloth is wound round the body on the hospital bed. No, the word is only sheet for this first day of a separate bed. The right word is not rain, though the radar says so, not this afternoon when imagined droplets touch skin as I mow late grass, dandelions, not drizzle nor mist, but virga, rain that falls yet does not. Another episode. Good morning, my love. In parenthetical, you try to say this as if it was not the last time. Here's your glasses as you slip them onto her nose, again, as if. Then you have her sitting, yes, on the edge of the bed, knowing, and brush her hair long and slowly back of her shoulders. And when her eyes close, you touch her lips with a strawberry, which is this one and only moment, all and everything we know. When it seemed over, I thought I should fly straight up in pure shirtless joy along the foamy lace of summer's beach as waves danced the shore, me leaping and dancing on frothing light. But a silence comes, and grief like a shriek, like a rush of feathers, like talons sinking through my skin to bone and muscle, strikes me to stillness, to stare at those same surges of ocean light, past which I might swim out to darkness. So after some dark thoughts, I'm trying to come back, and this is called My Returning, after Laura Tohe. I have been in this other story for a very long time, a story mostly written by others, mostly because I let them, though that does not mean the story lacked meaning or lacked sweetness or bitterness or even deep love. Wait, listen. I only mean that it is passing into the past. Even the future is passing away. The people of that story have gone, are going, whether they have walked away or been scattered in the cornfields along the river or in the river itself or on the mountain snows or the winds of dry canyons. I am returning to this place someone calls now and some other calls the body. And maybe it is these and something else too. A flower at the highest blossoming in the moment she turns toward death. I am not separate. I am not apart. I am joining, not dividing. I am sitting in an oak tree watching on the river floating from forest to sea. I am flat on the ocean sand. I am beach, motion of water, motion of stars, motion of pelican, fish, seal, snail, beetle, butterfly. I am so welcome. I am invisible. So one more. I'm going to read That Time by the River. It was summer early, or perhaps spring late, all time and no time, hours or an eternity, time like torrents of snowmelt roaring and whispering both. The water carrying starlight down from the high peaks, time slow like blossoms opening in their time, wild rose, daisy, lupin, paintbrush. Our human time was not carnal, was incarnate. Our intimacy like the spotted sandpiper's tender probing among shining rocks at the river's edge, for nymphs and larvae, sustenance plucked from cold, clear joy. Our kindnesses showed a higher love, as the blue heron paused on a dead branch of a snowing cottonwood tree, as our bodies rested on the bank below, as cedar waxwings danced from snag to sky, caught sparkling insects in the silent air's sunlight above the singing rush of water that spilled toward its calmer home. And a fritillary alit, sunlit, alight and spinning its dance on the yellow heart of a daisy for us, or not for us, just there, red, gold, orange, and silver afire, as wings opened and closed, not in sorrow nor joy, not in acceptance or forgiveness or surrender or anything that calls for earthly tears. Just there before us, below the peaks so high above the river sparkling past, day into night, as wind stirred the trees above it, lifted our eyes beyond our eyes to the currents that move the stars.
Thank you so much. Oh my, you can all unmute your mics and we can talk about what just happened in our literary minds. Gorgeous stuff, Thomas, and all very profound in its searching and its voice. Your breathing is the only measure I know of time. You have this one and only moment, which is always and ever, everything we know. Quite amazing. Sorry, I'm trying to read my shorthand. Passing into the past, even the future is passing. Oh my Lord. And my favorite, returning to this place some call now, some say the body. Oh my world. What an incredible piece of poetry there. And yes, we are all part of that great breath. Thanks so much. And so anyone else, if you'd like
My
to
brother,
talk.
your writing takes a very emotional turn. Like I was listening to it so deeply, and I had a loss recently in my life, and I've been trying to schedule my grief, and when you were writing, like each and every sentence you write, there is a point of light that even though it's grieving, it is a point of light and it is accepting of the grieving. And your every line was just like touching my soul. So I would love to meet you someday, my brother. That was so heavy and that was so beautifully written. And I'm thankful to know you in this lifetime. One love.
Everything Zomkanto said, and I love your pacing, your delivery. It's just like a conversation. It's like your breath, and really, really, really nice to listen to the words.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your first poem. Drew me right in, and that very sad thing of your wife passing, and the repetition that you used in the reference to God just kind of drew me into your entire reading. It was well done. Thank you.
Yeah,
The
and
words
I
and
think
the rhythm. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead, Ian. No.
Oh, no, I was going to say the words, the rhythm, the sounds, it really conveyed a deep sense of love there. But we never caught up in sentimentality. The grief was there, but it captured you and took you along with you in such an exquisite way, as if you were actually almost processing your grief through your language, through your images, and such, if you like, the memory and the honor to the loved one, I think, is so special in your language, Thomas. So really was deeply moved. Thank you.
That is the poet capturing those moments and turning them into something that communicates to everyone, turning pain into gold. It was beautiful.
I think the important thing that all of your poems have in common is you're interrogating false gods. I mean, it's you're incarnating in the love of the people that you're talking about and their bodies, and there's so many images of the false god, and you're saying, call him this, call God this, because that really is the incarnation. That is the divine in our everyday experience of one another and nature. And you do such a beautiful job, and you use beautiful images and language.
Absolutely.
Spoke to me like
Time
a
like
sacrament,
yeah,
like a sacrament,
Ah.
brother, a sacrament of love.
beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, my
I-
own wife died recently, well, about a year and a half ago now. And your poetry really captured a lot of the same feelings, the same images, let's say, that I was feeling during the time.
Mm.
And like someone else mentioned, the pace of your delivery, it was beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
that's one of the reasons I invited Thomas. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I just so deeply appreciated your full-on embrace of light and dark and your profound soul wisdom about non-separateness. And you just, at least over here, I just feel you so embodying your poetry and your words. Your transmission is really strong. So
Mm.
deep bow, really deep
Absolutely.
bow.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. I was just going to quote this image: time like torrents of snow melt.